Hi, everybody.
Hello. Welcome. So
I'm
happy to
so
be
eager to
here.
talk about this today.
Welcome to another episode of Oh Yes, Honey. My name is Tracie Collins.
And I'm Jessie Reamer, and we're going to talk about self-pleasure, following up from last week introduction of what your life might look like if you centered on pleasure as part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, we had homework.
We did have homework. I for self-pleasure this week had the incredible opportunity to lean into receiving. And this is a big deal for me, turning into my 50s, being a caregiver for most of my life, like really tuning into receiving. And so I went to a new spa in town called the New Wellness Center, and it's all Black run by the Ladies of the Light. And my friend gifted this to me. And so it was a full day long experience. Like literally, I was wrapped in their care from 11 o'clock until like 5 o'clock. So it was like 7 or 8 hours. And I went from a sound bowl bath with metal Tibetan bowls to a sound bed experience to a ritual with about 9 friends into a giant sound bath. And if you know the singing bowls that are, and hers were huge, big ass singing bowls, and it just filled every sense of my body. Like my friends walked in and they just saw me like fully in oxytocin laying back, and they're like, I took this picture. It's like somebody was dangling the grapes, and I was just like in full goddess mode. I felt like every cell had received. And it
Mm,
was that's brand new to me. Like I'm used to leading the center of the room and
mm,
guiding and being on, and I just let myself go and receive this like immersion. It was
mm.
there was so much pleasure that day. And then we ended with like dessert and a really yummy meal. And yeah, that was, I feel like that homework landed on the hilt. Like I was like, okay.
That sounds amazing. Is that the one where you have the flowers around your head?
Yes. Yeah, I got a flower crown. I was visited by an inner goddess of mine. And, I like to have something really intellectual usually. And the only message I got, she said, was, it is time to come home and rest with the goddess. And then that little part of my brain was like, wait, am I gonna die? And then she just laughed. She's like, girl, you gotta learn how to rest. Like, what does that mean to deeply rest? And so I just felt like I was in the arms of the goddess all day.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds so good. I love that for you. I'm so happy. And I'm also kind of jealous. Like, what? So here I am trying to envision.
You're gonna come and I'm gonna
I am. That is on my agenda. That is on my agenda at some point in the near future. So for me, this week looked like more of a commitment. So I will be 50 in October. And so in about 5.5 months, yes, I still consider myself half. Like, how old are you? 10 and a half, like the half matter. So I'm 39 and a half. Like I mark my half mark every year, which is April 22nd. So October 22nd, I will be 50. And I am on this journey to 50, and what that looks like for me. And I am really committed to just moving my body more than ever. And I've done it in the past to lose weight, and that's still a part of this, but it's more so about I'm going into the next chapter of my life because my 40s have been amazing. Like my 40s were like were the shit or are the shit because I'm still here. But now I'm getting ready to embark on this new chapter, and I want to be the healthiest I've ever been. And
Mm.
so, how am I not thinking about it, but really incorporating movement into my daily life? And so, I have committed to, or I am committed to walking 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening. So, I get in at least an hour of cardio. And also, I will be embedding weight training into this because of losing the muscle mass.
Yes. Yes.
The muscle mass. And I noticed that shift when I was at 48. My legs were not as firm and taut as they used to be. So really getting into building up that muscle mass. And so I'm going to with weights or and Pilates or a combination of both. And so that's my pleasure. And it is pleasurable because I'll put on a podcast. I'm listening to Being Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza right now.
Oh, I love that one. Okay, girl, that's exactly what I was doing in the gym because my doctor, like after breaking my leg, she said the same thing for menopause was like you have to protect your bones. So the way she told it to me, I was fine. I was like, okay, it landed. And I committed to the gym. I'm
Mhm.
3 months in now. And that podcast is like, this is my time. Like I just put the
Yeah,
earbuds on,
just
it
go.
goes. Hmm.
And you just go. And so that, and I love Dr. Joe because I listen to him. I do a morning meditation, which is about 20 minutes before I do a gratitude practice, and then I move into my morning meditation. I love guided meditations for me, and I always do Dr. Joe's guided meditations on YouTube. I'll just put them in my ear and then I get started in my day and then I get moving. So that's my more meditative practice, pleasure, but also like how I'm uplifting and elevating myself as I begin to embark on this stage of my life, the next stage of my life.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to be walking with you because
Yeah.
mine currently is up on the top of the Pal Butte. So my farm sits right behind us, and there's a 600-acre nature park. And
Mm.
that was my early practice too, as I decided after breaking my leg a couple years ago that I was like, I have to re-strengthen that process. So I've been walking every morning, especially with the light coming in, and then incorporating the gym a couple times a week for that body, just the body pleasure though. I'm super surprised because I used to think of it as like just a checkbox. And now it's actually like you just said, it's like my time. Like I got nobody but me to pay attention to. And except for the trees and a little bit of nature and all the wildflowers right now.
I know you live in such a lush part of the country. Here in San Miguel de Allende, it's so hot and it's so dry. It's very similar to New Mexico, our climate is with the elevation and the dryness. So, but anyway, hopefully rain will grace us soon. So I'm kind of like envious of all that greenery behind you. I have to do this. I have to, I have to bring it into my home and cultivate green spaces into my home. But yeah,
Oh,
for
that's a good metaphor. Let's ask everybody, how are you going to miss your garden this week? How are you going to miss your garden? Like,
ooh, how are you gonna miss your garden? So self-pleasure, let's talk more like deeply about what that means. Like for me, and I think you guys heard me say this last week, I look at pleasure from a sensory aspect. And like if anything that I'm experiencing, if it's not pleasurable from either of my five senses, then I need to readjust it. But it goes even deeper. For me now, it's really about community, it's about movement, it's about, how can my life be pleasure? And not only be pleasurable for myself, but others can see it as a way of life. So self-pleasure, and then of course of sex, like my vibrator, she's in my drawer. Like my kids know that. Like everybody, oh yeah, there's the phone charger and there's mom's vibrator. Like that's
Gemini, so I've got 10 to choose from, but
I don't have 10, I have one. And she has stood the
oh,
test
you're
of
a little
time.
monogamous
Oh,
with
I
your
love her
vibrator.
so much. I swear I need an affiliate link or we need an endorsement or something with the womanizer because she is my friend. I love her. But yeah, so that's for me, that's what I look at it like. What about you for self-pleasure?
I feel like this version of me is really about like stepping into how every moment it's actually at the front of my mind. Like
Yeah.
my shoes, going for a walk, what I'm putting in my mouth. Like I feel like the normal stressors of life are there, but as soon as I shift to like, okay, what's going to bring me pleasure right now? Even leaning into like I've been doing intermittent fasting, and
Yeah.
that downtime from digestion has actually allowed me this really reflective period to bring pleasure into my body because it's like it's not busy working, like digesting. And so that it's a stillness and it
Mhm.
goes back to this like I don't know, just like a part of me that I haven't had time to explore. And so so that's the question in my mind is what kind of pleasure can I like receive from this moment? And
Mhm.
that will prompt me sometimes to get up and just go outside. Sometimes it prompts me to like stop and just not do the tasks in front of me and then come back to it once I've had some pleasure. I guess it's like do me first. I've been doing everybody else and I'm like
Right,
in this moment I'm going to do me first.
right. Let me get mine first.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I love that. And I think I operate the same way. Like, let me get mine first.
Yes.
Like, and it's different because not different, but difficult for mothers to position themselves like that. One of the things that I noticed with women, and because we have such a long history of working with women, especially in the maternal space, is like everybody else comes before them. It doesn't make any sense to me. And how does that even feel? Like, you really ask yourself, how does that feel? Because if you're not well, nothing else functions around you. So, really centering yourself, the whole do me first. We need a t-shirt. You need to create a shirt that says do me first.
Okay, you got the shop. I'll just send you the design, okay? You
Every
put
design. I love that do me first. Um, but in that, how we're able to not pour from an empty cup because we're fulfilled, we're centered, and also it requires those around you to have that she needs to be taken care of because she pours back into us.
imagine that's the kind of culture of nurturing that I think is ready to be born right now. Like
Yeah.
we are nature. I mean, nature's asking the same thing. The planet's asking for the same thing. Let's do her first. It's like that. We're just reflections of that. Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, like from a sexual pleasure aspect, like how are you doing you first? How are we doing us? Well, I mean, I always get done first. So I ain't worried about that.
Well, me and my so since I'm solo poly with my experience, then I have also my
Wait. For the people in the audience who don't know what
yeah.
solo poly is, please tell them.
Yeah, solo poly to me is an actual expression, I think, of do me first. Like I made this decision after getting a divorce to center on my life, and then I bring in partners or toys or pleasure where it's like this is about reflections of me as opposed to me joining in a partnership. And then that partnership may still come where it's like that feeling of wanting to share and have an egalitarian experience, but
Mhm.
really I've really wanted to center on like um, how does this fit into my life? And so that means I have multiple partners and they don't have to be all tied into community. It might be multiple play toys, or it might be like I have a date with somebody here because it fits into my life, but they don't have to interact with my children. Like they're not tied to any spaces. Like my children know I date, but they're like there's no reason to bring that person home. My younger son has even adopted that. He says, "Well, unless I really like this person, you won't know their name. And then you'll know their name, and then they'll come over and you'll get to meet them, but it's not tied to any particular escalator or structure in life for a like relationship." And I've really been enjoying that period. I mean, I feel like there could be a shift because now with aging, I desire a little more companionship, and I'm kind of more um I'm like a gregarious introvert. So it's like
Mhm.
if I find someone where it's like, oh, I really would deeply enjoy your companionship or crossover, I might want more of that versus 20. But I'm enjoying that period. So right now, that self pleasure looks like starting my day with what would bring me most pleasure. Sometimes that's my vibrator. Sometimes that's a meditation. Sometimes that's just sitting at my desk right now in my room, which is filled with jewelry and cards and
And vaginas.
images and vaginas. That's not even, this is my office. This is my work office. Although she's very pettable. This is my newest mother tree.
Mhm.
Upstairs, though, in my bedroom, I've made there's not a single thing that's career oriented in there. It's
Good,
about adornment and
good.
body enhancing and like really treating this body, like I redid my room last year and focused on that, where it was like, okay, this is not about bringing anything work related. I don't even let a computer or a TV,
Good.
no devices unless it's just a phone for music.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I know it's a different conversation for a different day, but it's like part of me is like, oh my God, that's how I would have my room. But when you're partnered and you're in the same bedroom, like you have to have a compromise. But now we're exploring the idea of like separate bedrooms and like
Yes.
that would totally work for us because mine would look, very similar to adorning me, and hers would be a cold dungeon, you
Oh
know.
yeah. Well, you know what? We're grown-ups. Like we didn't have to share our room. I don't know. As a kid, I didn't have to share my room. So I'm like, why would I have to do that now? I like the idea. Then it keeps a mystique. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sexy.
yeah.
Then you can like, I can go to yours, you can come to
Come to
mine.
mine, and then you can go back home or go back to your space, and now we're married 40, 50 years because
Exactly. How could I miss you if you don't go away?
right, right, right. So is there any homework that we want to leave the people for this week?
Hmm. Well, some of this might lead into a conversation we're going to have about slow sex. So,
Yeah.
so maybe if people want to think about a homework assignment that would include slowing down enough to get to know your own rhythm, or just even noticing their own rhythm. Like, like we're going to talk about this coming up, but understanding like sexuality is also our creative center. So like
Oh yeah. Come.
where does creativity come into your day just spontaneously? And then how can you enhance that? And then maybe that's the sensual or erotic energy. Where does that naturally fall in your day? Some
Mhm,
people may not even have to even know that because they're regimented by an external schedule. But like
mhm,
I'm noticing that mine starts in the morning. Like I start to notice the smell of the flowers and the air change, and like there's some things that come in that my erotic energy is there in the morning. And I don't
mhm.
even have to have an orgasm with that. It's just more like that feeling of coming alive in my body.
Mhm. To expound upon that, really paying attention to the sacral chakra, and that's where your creativity lies, and doing some movement in that hip area, and it can be sexual or it doesn't have to be, but it's like some circular motion. I think a lot of times we're so up here, everything is very cerebral, and but we want to bring that down, not only with the slow sex conversation that we're going to have next, but it's more about how can we bring that energy down and really, centering that creative aspect of that sacral chakra and feeding that from not only movement but also adorning yourself with crystals that support that, or vitamins and herbs that support that, and embodying that movement, and then bringing in the orgasm should you choose to, and not separating the two. I think orgasms, especially self orgasms, can be a form or is a form of meditation, so allowing yourself that space to push pause on whatever your daily routine is to go into that meditative space for yourself.
Oh, okay. So you're going to add some belly beads to your shop,
Oh no, I'm not. But I have,
or have a good referral? We'll have to add in
I'm
the
waist
comments.
bead girl. I'm always, I can't imagine my waist without waist beads.
Mhm.
My waist has, that's like at least 20 plus years of having adorn my body with waist beads. I look naked without waist beads to me.
I love that. Well, if there's anybody you refer to, I'd love to.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I have a great referral. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Oh Yes, Honey.
Yes,
Stay
honey. Thanks for
tuned.
today.
Stay tuned because we're going to start to drop workshops and things that we have going on. So you want to stay tuned for that. And then also don't forget to drop any questions into the chat or anything that you guys want to share with us. Anything that you want to close out with before we go?
Have a pleasurable week, everybody.
Oh, right, right. And just say, oh, yes, honey. See you guys next time.
Bye.